French feminist accuses the Argentine national team of racism because they are too white.
40% of Argentina's population was black or of African descent in the 18th century. Today, they are less than 5%.
Well, I want to clarify that this video is completely real. It's just translated using AI. Look.
Half of Argentina was black or of African descent in the 18th century. So,
as it's in French, I used AI to translate it.
There's a very famous joke in Latin America. If Mexicans descend from the Aztecs, Peruvians from the Incas, then Argentinians, on the other hand, descend from the ships. However, without a doubt, this joke is historically incorrect. Black populations have been erased from Argentina and from its history. In the past, the black population of Argentina came mostly from the slave trade under Spanish rule in the Viceroyalty of the Rio de la Plata in 1816. Several decades after Argentina's independence from Spain, 30% of the population of Buenos Aires was black.
Alright guys, first of all, it's curious, isn't it? To see a French woman, yes, a French woman talking to us about slavery, right? I mean, I want you to think about it, guys. I think few countries were as terrible to their colonies as France was. In fact, there's a very famous, very controversial video where at the end of the 19th century or the beginning of the 20th century, a woman was throwing food as if they were zoo animals to children from French Indochina, which is now Vietnam. I mean, just imagine the total madness of these people. And yet they still come here to lecture us about slavery and blah blah blah. Unbelievable, ridiculous hypocrites.
And nowadays there are several theories that explain the demographic decline of Afro-Argentines. First of all, the Paraguayan War in
No, not this again, guys. This is pure misinformation. It's that simple. Let's see, I think they mention here that the entire video is based on incorrect data. In Argentina, the Afro-descendant population was not eradicated. Rather, there was a process of racial mixing, since racial segregation did not exist either legally or in practice. Absolutely. But anyway, let's keep listening to what this lady says.
Between 1865 and 1870, Afro-Argentines were sent to the front lines as cannon fodder. Black people were disproportionately represented in the Argentine army. Some historical theses support intentional recruitment, while others argue the opposite. The yellow fever epidemic in 1870 and 1871.
Everyone says exactly the same thing. Everyone repeats exactly the same thing.
It also decimated a significant part of the black population, especially in the most disadvantaged areas. During this epidemic, the bourgeoisie could leave the most affected areas much more easily, while the situation of Afro-Argentines was much more delicate. In addition to that, the president of Argentina between 1868 and 1874, Domingo Sarmiento, was openly racist. Sarmiento was obsessed both with progress and with the dichotomy between civilization and barbarism. Sarmiento, in his worldview, considered the black population to be barbaric. Sarmiento was a fervent supporter of progressive ideology and an admirer of the Enlightenment. According to him, Western civilization had to dominate the world and allow other countries to reach the heights of progress and rationality. Sarmiento also believed that the liberation of black people would lead to decadence, whether through liberation itself or through a race war between whites and blacks, or else to the existence of a black nation, vile and backward, and a white nation, advanced and prosperous.
Okay, now it strikes me how they always do the same thing with Argentina, especially when they see that the vast majority of the players on their national team are white, they get outraged, and I ask myself a series of questions. First, why don't they say this, I don't know, about South Africa? Why are there no white players in South Africa, I wonder? Why aren't there any? There are white people in South Africa. Elon Musk is South African. So I ask myself this question, why aren't there any white players playing for the South African national team? Or at least, why aren't any of them starters? Why are all of them black? Why do people never ask these kinds of questions, for example? Or, I don't know, why are all the players in South Korea Korean? It's a good question, isn't it? Actually, it's a stupid question, just like asking why the vast majority of Argentine players are white. The reason is simple because the vast majority of the Argentine population is white, period. It's that simple and straightforward. There's no other explanation. And there's nothing wrong with them being white. I don't know why this bothers these people. Now, the question we should really be asking is, why isn't the vast majority of the French national team white? That's the real question we should be asking here, right? Because many people single out Argentina over the skin color of its players. And France? Why are all of these players African? You'll say it's because they were born in France, but they're children of immigrants. It's that simple. Yes, they were born in France, but they're children of immigrants. We all know it. It's no secret or mystery. Anyway, let's keep listening to her.
And according to the historian Patricia Gomez, it was from the 19th century that the state began to make black populations invisible and present Argentina as a white nation.
Again, with that nonsense, it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The nerve of these people. It already happened in 2022 during the World Cup, before Argentina became champion. For anyone who doesn't know, this involved the Washington Post. At the time, they did something crazy. They wrote an article asking why the Argentine players were too white. Look, they even had to admit their mistake. The Washington Post acknowledged an error in its article about the lack of black players on Argentina's national team. I mean, the Washington Post ended up acknowledging their mistake because it was a monumental screw-up. On their part, it was a huge blunder. They admitted the gigantic mistake they made.
And it can't be that 4 years later, or, 3.5 years later, we're back to the same thing.
Something that has already been said over and over again is a lie. The black population in Argentina gradually diminished through racial mixing. I mean, in Argentina, there are many people of mixed race. There is a huge mixed race population to the point that 16.3% of Argentinians are of mixed race. If 79.4, almost 80% of the population is white, and there's nothing wrong with that, it's just incredible. I don't get why these people are so obsessed with this.
The Constitution of 1853 made it easier, as it wanted, it indicated, and immigration accelerated starting in 1880. According to historian Erica Edward, the goal was to whiten Argentina, spread the myth of a white nation, and hide possible African ancestry. In later censuses, Argentina eliminated the categories of black and mulatto to merge them with other categories and drastically render black populations invisible. The Argentine national team is the result of a progressive ideology that sought to erase Africa in the name of a supposed barbarism that it was actually still actively perpetuating.
That tried to erase Africa. Ma'am, Argentina is in South America, not in Africa. And in fact, many Argentinians, a lot of them, have Italian blood running through their veins. I think even Messi himself and even Javier Milei, the president of Argentina, have Italian blood running through their veins. And that's neither good nor bad. Look, you all know what I think about Italy these days. It's a country that's falling apart just like France, which, by the way, is also declining in its way of thinking. And the arguments of this woman. So I ask myself, what exactly is being done in France? No, because something pretty strange is happening here, isn't it? In France, something that I think is obvious to everyone. Everyone can see what's happening in France. But anyway, I'd like to know what you think and what your opinions are about all this in the comments section. This woman got slammed. I mean, they even put community notes on her, and a lot of people in Argentina went after this lady on social media. So, gentlemen, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.